Let me get this information up here really quick and we'll get started. Okay, good. Hi, everybody. I'm just typing in my details for the YouTube stream and we'll get started here.
Are you on YouTube as well?
I will be in a second.
We're live. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. YouTube should come up in a second. Will you check it? Thank you. All right. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure I have everything all in order this time. Straight up. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, everybody, with fall coming on and Halloween and all kinds of pagan holidays coming up, I thought it would be fun to do a little research and learn a little bit about the holiday of Samhain, also pronounced Shamhain or Samhain or Samhain. First of all, Samhain is a Sabbat, and the word Sabbat comes from the Greek meaning sabbatu, which is to rest. Because working of magic requires mental, physical, and spiritual work, it's not traditionally done on a Sabbat unless there is a life or death need to do so. Spell work is generally done just prior to the onset of the Sabbat in order to take advantage of the waxing energy caused by the worldwide pagan anticipation of the day. And Sabbats are for relaxing, celebrating with friends, enjoying the season, the lives and earthly incarnations of deities, and the lives of loved ones who've passed. You can hear me, but you cannot see me. Where are you, Julian? Oh, you can see me now? Okay, good.
You're not on YouTube.
What?
You're not on YouTube.
All right, I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay.
All right. So there are holidays. There are 8 solar sabbats that cover the different seasons in the year, and we are talking about Samhain, All Hallows Eve, as the Christians call it, and October 31st through November 1st. It's the cross quarter of the moon, and it's the dark half. So the 8 solar sabbats represent the turning of the wheel of the year and honors a stage in the eternal life cycle of the goddess and god. One eternal whole, which is forever turning, returning to the beginning again and again. The god is born, dies, and is reborn. The goddess moves from child to mother to crone and back again. Nature moves from seed to sprout, to flower, to fruit, to barren, and back again. The same with animal life. Who recognizes this spot around the world? The Aboriginals do, the Anglo-Welsh, the Celts, the Chinese, Eastern Europeans, Iberians, Native Americans in the southern continent, the Russians in the Teutonic Northern, which is the order of Brothers of German House of St. Mary in Jerusalem, commonly the Teutonic Order, which is a Catholic religious order founded as a military order around 1192 in Acre, Kingdom of Jerusalem. The Teutonic Order was formed to aid Christians on their pilgrimages to the Holy Land and to establish hospitals. They've been active since 1192 to the present day, and also the South Pacific Islanders do. What is Samhain all about? Well, we've discussed the different ways we can pronounce it. It is the third and final harvest of the year. It is the time of acknowledging abundance through gratitude, humility, and joyful celebration. A time to scare away fairies and sylphs that might distract the recently dead from their journey. Celts would dress as animals and monsters so that fairies would not kidnap the souls of the departed. Bonfires were built to protect families from fairies and witches, and puka monsters received harvest offerings from the fields. The Norse likely brought the concept of blood sacrifice to the Samhain. However, the pagan rite of harm none includes animals, and pagans evolved out of the need to make a blood sacrifice to any deity. Today, red wine is poured onto Mother Earth and suffices in both Celt and North tradition. It is a day to commune with and remember the dead, a celebration of the eternal cycle of reincarnation. There are two possible origins for the Samhain Sabbat. One is from the Aryan god of death, Samana, and the other from the Irish Gaelic word Samhraidre. I can't even say it. I tried it, but it's there on the screen. You can try it for yourself. The Gaelic word meaning summer's end. Samhain is the pagans' New Year's Eve. In the European tradition, Samhain is the night when the sun god dies and remains in the underworld till the Yule. The crone goddess mourns him deeply for 6 weeks, and the popular image of this is the old Halloween hag menacingly stirring her cauldron comes from the Celtic belief that all dead souls return to her cauldron of life, death, and rebirth to await reincarnation. So the cauldron is a very powerful symbol here because it is the birth and the storage of the dead souls while they wait for their reincarnation. Samhain is not and never was associated with evil or negativity. It has always been a time to reaffirm our belief in oneness of all spirits and the firm resolution that physical death is not the final act of existence. Modern societies fear the crone goddess and are repulsed by her. The ancient pagans revered her as a woman of power with stores of wisdom that matched her great age and lifelong practice of her many skills. She was a destroyer and a healer and the grand mother of the eternal womb of rebirth. The cauldron represents the great cosmic womb in which all things are conceived, grow, and are born. It is an everyday item used for all household chores that could not be held up in the eyes of the church as evidence of witchcraft. In modern society, Samhain is also known as Halloween, hallowed evening. It is known in Catholic culture as Eve of All Saints or All Hallows Eve, which precedes All Saints' Day, one of the Catholics' holiest days. The church could not appropriate the holiday, so they vilified it with stories of it being a night boiling with evil spirits. The church could not appropriate, dumb suppers were held by those who had invited their ancestors to join in a meal after a ceremonial invitation. Children played games to entertain the dead. Doors and windows were left open for the dead to come and eat cakes that had been left for them. Although death is an integral part of this holiday, this spot also celebrates the triumph of life over death. It is a belief that evil spirits walk the earth on this night. The idea mistakenly comes from the belief that the veil that separates the living and the dead is at the thinnest on this night of the year, allowing God to pass through it into the land of the dead so that he can hold back any spirits who may attempt to cross into the physical plane to cause trouble. The thinning veil is an opportunity to invite ancestors, friendly spirits, and the spirits of the recently departed to join in the festivities and to participate in divination and ritual. This is considered a desired time to strengthen karmic ties with those whom you wish to be with again in another lifetime. Samhain is not a holiday that indulges in evil traditions. However, because evil does exist, faces were carved into vegetables and placed in windows to ward off evil. These were the early jack-o'-lanterns. Even before the carved vegetables, pagans used candles in windows to guide earth-walking spirits along their way. In Ireland, this is still the tradition, and plates of food are also left out for the visiting spirits. So, we can talk a little bit about how to celebrate the end of the third harvest. Share the bounty of your harvest with home canned goods and fresh fruits and meats with your friends and neighbors. Have festive meals together. Feasts that include fresh meat, deer, pig, potatoes, berries, and wassail. Set a place at the table for your ancestors. Do some candle magic to invite them to the feast a few days before. Decorating with fall colors and plants like pumpkins, gourds, squash, apples, and dried vines and wreaths. Set your altar with a cornucopia of your harvest and photos of your loved ones. Tell stories about your loved ones. Wear a piece of their jewelry. Light candles, put on music, make sigils. Circle games are a lot of fun and invite misrule to keep the lighthearted energy there. Simple, good-natured pranks and games. Bonfires to honor Pomona and Fortuna. Request that they invite recently departed from the spirit world to join the living in the celebrations. Be sure to include your pet and familiars. They were traditionally the ultimate companion for the solitary witch in the winter months. Make sure they enjoy the feasting and the play. The Celts considered the head to be the most sacred part of the physical body. Make jack-o'-lanterns. Bake pies, cookies, breads, make berry wines, and mead. Because this is a time of connecting to our ancestors, there are many different types of divination tools that you can use. Break out your pendulum, your tarot or oracle cards. Drink some tea and read your leaves. Develop your skills of scrying. Get together with your friends and family and have spirit circles. Throw the bones. Take some quiet time in meditation and do some automatic writing and channeling. Try some dowsing rods. Lay your runes out and even attempt to use your I Ching or I Ching. These are all wonderful tools of learning, expanding your, opening the doorway to the winter months and expanding your spiritual practice and connecting with messages from beyond. I have a really tasty and unusual recipe here for wassail. This involves water, heavy cream, apples, egg whites, sugar, nutmeg, allspice, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, a quart of ale, a cup of cooking sherry, and a cup of Irish whiskey. And you just bring your water and cream to a slow boil and remove it from the heat. Beat up your egg whites to a sturdy froth and then add that into the pot. Mix in all of your remaining ingredients except for your alcohol. And if you're going to keep this in a crock pot, then keep it warm until it's time for you to serve and then add your alcohol. If you're going to put it in a punch bowl, you need to allow it to cool enough so that it doesn't crack your bowl and then add your alcohol. And be sure to offer a traditional toast to the apple tree before drinking. Make sure to include these things in your pantry and on your table as traditional items for your feast and celebration. Almonds and apples, cider, cinnamon, cloves, ginger, nuts, potatoes, pumpkin, rosemary, sage, squash, and tarragon. Cook with them, bake with them, incorporate them into your drinks, put them in baskets and share them. These are all symbols of the harvest, and as you share them, you share abundance and you share gratitude with everyone around you, which really helps to raise the spirit of the season. Some of the old symbols of Samhain are bats, and they represent the physical symbol of transition from the bright days of summer to the dark days of winter. Black cats. The Celtic fairy Siths took the form of a large black cat to roam the night on Samhain to bless the homes that offered milk for it to drink, and curse the homes of those that did not. Be sure you leave a little plate of milk out. Cauldrons are the container of life, death, and rebirth, as we talked about earlier. They represent the womb of the goddess. Carved vegetables were used to ward off fairies and spirits that would try to misguide the earth-walking spirits. Trinkets and talismans for Samhain, things to keep in your pocket, items to set on your altar, things to burn as incense, and things to decorate your home with. Include the stones of aquamarine, bloodstone, carnelian, jet, obsidian, onyx, smoky quartz, kyanite, and labradorite. For incense and oils, use benzoin, copal, heliotrope. Heliotrope is really wonderful. It's very smoky and sweet, and every time I smell it, I imagine very deep, dark purple curls in the smoke. It's one of my favorites. Mastic resin, sage, sandalwood, and sweetgrass, which is one of Corey's favorites. Wormwood, spikenard, myrrh, frankincense, and rose. Herbs and flowers to incorporate in your cooking and your decorating and your salads and things. Some of these herbs you cannot incorporate into your food because they are poisonous, and I will identify those for you. Include in your food allspice, calendula, chrysanthemum, sage, some rosemary, nutmeg, mint. Do not include lobelia. You can burn these, you can crush them and use them in your salts and things, but not for eating. You can lay them as offerings also on your altars. Deadly nightshade, mandrake, and I think I said wormwood. So on your altar, place acorns and apples, black candles, your broom, carved pumpkins. Set your cauldron there if it's small enough. Fall flowers, leaves, nuts, berries, photographs of your loved ones past, and pomegranates. And trees to honor and celebrate at this time of the year are the apple, the hazel, oak, and pomegranate tree. For the season of Samhain, just before you go into the celebration of Samhain, you want to spend time working your spells, and this is a really great time for banishing spells, to banish old habits, people, and energies that you don't wish to carry into the darker time of the year. It is a great time of year to invite and draw on the energy of the fairy and include their energy in your workings, as well as time to make some spirit contact. Pull out your grandmother's brooch, your grandfather's watch, your dad's ring, and lay them on your altar and light your candles and invite them to join you for the celebrations. And coming into the winter season, Samhain is a New Year's Eve, is the kickoff for the winter season. It's a hermiting time, a time of studying and learning and deepening your practice and learning new skills with your magic practice, with your spell work, with your meditation practice, with your astral projecting, all of the things that are personal to you in your practice. Samhain is the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day of opening the door into the season of personal growth and development in this way. So take a little bit of time and plan and make your invitations and your openings thoughtfully as this season comes up. I thought I would include in here a little information about colored candle magic, because where's my little box? I'll grab my box. a lot of people really like to use colored candle magic to do their spell work. So I found a really great little box of colored candles, and there's just about one of every color in here. I don't have silver in this box, and I don't have gold in this box, but I do have every other color. White candles are used for peace, purity, healing, innocence, divination, and exorcism. The black candle, which has represented there by the little gray dot, for safety, protection, banishing negativity, healing pride, and shape-shifting. Brown, house blessings, pets, animals, earth, stability, and finding lost items. Orange, for creativity, justice, legal matters, joy, ambition, opportunity, and celebration. Purple, for spiritual power, third eye, government, breaking bad habits, and pushing away evil. Yellow for sun, intelligence, luxury, memory, masculinity, positive attitude. Pink for love, caring, friendship, maturity, affection, nurturing, and femininity. Green for growth, luck, trees, plants, earth, nature, money, success, and jealousy. Protection, blue for protection, focus, forgiveness, good fortune, water, truth, and calm. And red for passion, strength, fire, survival, career, lust, action, and independence. Colors most associated with the Samhain celebration are black for the darker time of the year. It serves as protection from malevolent spirits and to work spells and rituals to work with good spirits. Orange for the last leaves of autumn. We are in the full cycle of death, and orange is prominent all around in the world around you in nature. And purple, the color of psychic attunement and the opening of the veil for communing with the spirits. Also consider white, gold, and silver as well. These are high energy offerings and connections to spirit. Calling in the ancestors, and this was offered by the Weather Witch on Tumblr. So if you have family members that are buried near you and you have access to their cemetery plots, head over there and grab a handful of dirt, either from their grave site or from the dirt around the mausoleum there. Leave an offering for the dirt. If you cannot visit their particular cemetery, a local cemetery dirt will do. Types of offerings that you can leave are an old silver coin, some bread or cakes, apples, pomegranate. Flowers suggested are marigold, carnation, chrysanthemum, roses, gladioli, and lilies. You can leave some alcohol. Liquor is preferred. Incense, candles, tobacco, bay, laurel, dandelion, elder, mullein, yew, henbane, mugwort, myrrh, frankincense, wolfsbane, wormwood, holly, and lily. Leave some poetry. Leave a Bible or a scripture passage or lyrics. Offerings can be left at the grave of your ancestor or at the gate. You may bury the offering burnt or leave it in place just as it is. You may also place offerings in a cloth pouch with a sigil marked on the outside. Make your own sigils. This will capture your truest intention. And then you're going to take that dirt and you're going to set it on your altar, and you're going to work your ritual and your conversation and your meditation and your prayers to the ancestors that you're calling forward to during this time. This is my recipe for ritual oil. So you'll get a bottle, either with a dropper or a little applicator in the lid. And you'll put an ounce of calendula infused oil with 2 drops each of spikenard, myrrh, white lotus, angelica root, and liquid amber, and 2 drops each of frankincense, oak moss, rose, sage, Peru balsam, and violet. The oils selected for this blend will open your connection to spirit and amplify your magic. Is especially useful for dressing candles, for candle work, sigil work, diffusing your altar, and it's really wonderful to wear in this season. So, where does the celebration of Samhain lead us in the days following? After a full season and bountiful harvest comes the barren season of quiet and shadows. This is the time to welcome the stillness and the hermit. Let go of the daylight and welcome the night sky and walk fearlessly through the doorway into the shadowlands, introspection and self-healing, personal growth and development. This is time for study. Samhain is the opening of communion with ancestors and loved ones who've passed. Continue to seek their guidance in this quiet season. Seek their ancient knowledge. Seek wisdom and healing and perspective. Into the passages of the Akashic and the examination of the darkness within us. Shadow work is the healing period of places in our souls that require healing, learning, and expansion. So, that's it. That went a lot quicker than I thought it would. Not going to be on very long today. That's it. This is the color, this is the idea of the Samhain. And it is a time for us to be grateful for the benefits of our hard work. I'm done.
It always goes fast when you're on air.
Yeah. This is the time to be to take the time to really express gratitude to yourself, to nature, for all of the hard work and things that have brought forth good things. And in talking to you guys in the chat rooms, I have been seeing and learning about you and the challenges that you've gone through this year and the kind of the place you're at. And many of you right now really are in this spot of having some better things come your way and the fruits of some of your work starting to lay out. So take the time to set aside the weight and the stress of the world and really appreciate and enjoy the fullness of the hard work that you've put in this year. That's really what this holiday is all about, and it is about getting us ready to step into wintertime, which is generally not my favorite time of year because the days are darker. I am a sun baby and I love the long days, and as the days get shorter and the darkness comes on early, it's hard for me. But as I did all this study and put this together, I think I found a new perspective and a new way to look at the coming season of winter, and I'm actually really looking forward to buckling down and digging in and opening up and expanding my own personal practice and developing my own intuitive and spiritual skills more. Do you have any questions? Doesn't seem like it here. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. We have a message here. All right. Well, I did get a request in an email, and I'm going to put this up here for a minute for you. Friday's class is going to be how to make black salt, and here is a list of ingredients, so that if you want to make it along with me on Friday, you'll have your supplies ready to go. So I'll give you a minute to have a look at that. What if your departed ones are on your shelf? Well, then stick them on your altar or decorate around them, Sherilyn, and you don't have to go digging up at the graveyard for some dirt. You've got them right there with you. But decorate and pay some attention to their containers, and talk to them and invite them to be more present with you. Pretty. All right. Well, I'm going to. Oh, good. I'm glad. That'll make it beautiful. So, thank you everybody for joining me for a quick little lesson on the Samhain and how you can incorporate it better into your life, or incorporate it for the first time. It doesn't matter what kind of essential oils. Essential oils are going to be your preference based on what you're trying to, what goals you're trying to reach with your black salt. So that is going to be something you will have to decide on your own. I have some chosen for my Friday's class, but in general, when you make salt, if you're making it for a specific purpose, you're going to want to choose your oil specifically for those purposes. Okay? All right. Love for all humans. The herbs that I recommend, the herbs that I will be using for Friday's class, I'm going to be using a little bit of coastal sage, a little something I brought with me from California. I'm going to be using some juniper, and I'm going to be using one other, but you'll have to wait and find that one out. Save your eggshells for the next few days, and Corey and I collect all of the ashes from our incense that burn, and anything else that we burn in the house that is personal or clearing, and we save those. So I will be incorporating those. The ashes will be from our own personal burnings for this. And make a petition. Think of something you want to write down. Think of something you want to include in your black salt recipe here. Write it down on a small piece of paper, burn it, and save your ashes, because you'll be incorporating those two into your black salt. I try love for all humans. Got to keep you coming back. Yes, I will be uploading this to YouTube. It didn't broadcast there, but I have it recorded, so I'll put it up there. And you can also get a slideshow of it on my website at thesicilianwitch.com in the library. When I'm done with these, I always stick the slideshow of my that we do of the different presentations in my library, so that people can go over there and look at the slides individually. So you can find those there too. Black salt will work to heal, will work at driving out sickness and healing. So yeah, it is a good healing tool. Oh, thank you for hosting me, honey.
Welcome.
Any other questions, guys? Glad you could catch it too, Dude Abides. Thanks for being here. All right, everybody. Well, thank you again for being here and for your questions. I always like to interact with you guys. Rock salt is the stuff in the blue box down low in the baking section that typically is used for making ice cream. You can also use Himalayan salt. In this lesson, we'll talk about a variety of different types of salt and why you might use different ones. But for this purpose, you want to use rock salt and some coarse sea salt. Okay? You're welcome, Gray Moon. Alrighty. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you again. Have a good day.